Hi, everybody. How is the volume on the microphone? Perfect? Awesome. So welcome to the 8th annual Grant High School Poetry Slam. I'm so glad y'all made the effort to get from Northeast Portland out here to the Marshall campus. I really want to generously thank the Grant Boosters. They have supported this event for the last several years, and because of their generosity, all of our poets get t-shirts, and we're able to give our winners prizes. So I'd like to give it up for the Grant Boosters. Thank you. I was told that they are in need of members, so I'm kind of glancing around to see the parents in the room, that would be an awesome thing to join the Grant Boosters and help them out. So tonight we have an MC that I'm going to introduce in just a moment, but I always like to say at the start of the slam that, you know, the point isn't the points, the point is the poetry. But there is this event that's called Verselandia that happens after our poetry slam, and we have to send 2 representatives from Grant to Verselandia. So we have judges that give scores to the poets, but we're just really happy that we have all of our poets here tonight to share their art. And I think they all realize too that it is about the poetry and not about the points. I have also told the poets that with their creative work, a lot of times these poets are sharing some hard truths, and that sometimes comes with some mature content and some mature language. But I have told each and every one of them that as their librarian, I will to my dying day defend their First Amendment rights, and they can say what they have to say. So poets, the mic will be yours to express your words in whatever way that you deem fit. Okay, so, yes, looking at one poet in particular. So, tonight, we have a special guest from our theater department. Fiona Jenkins is a senior at Grant High School, and she is going to be our MC.
Hi, everybody. Is this good? I'm hearing myself, so I'm assuming it's good enough. So how many people here have seen a poetry slam before? Ooh, that is a good number. Wonderful. For those of you who haven't, there are a couple of rules that I just want to get out there before we get started. So, each poet must perform their own work. No plagiarizing other poets. I mean, it's less rude. You know, anyway. No costumes, no props, and no music. No backup dancers. There is a 3-minute time limit for each poem. After 3 minutes, there's a 10-second grace period, but at 3 minutes and 11 seconds, a penalty will automatically be deducted from each poet's overall score. Poets will be scored by our lovely judges on a scale from 0 to 10. The highest score and the lowest score will be thrown out, and the 3 remaining scores will be totaled up. The poets with the 5 highest scores will move on to round 2. At the end of round 2, the scores from each round will be added together to determine our winner and our runner-up. So, who's going to be judging our poetry slam this evening? That would be our lovely judging panel. You might have already read in their bios, like who they are, why they're here, why they're so cool. But we decided that a fun way to introduce them would be to have them say their favorite poem or their favorite Beverly Cleary book, because today is a very special day. Not only is it my birthday, but more importantly, it is Beverly Cleary's 102nd birthday, which is way better than 18. So, cool. So, at our judging table, we have Howard Aaron and the favorite poem, A Sick Child by Randall Jarrell. And we have D'Angelo Gillespie, and the favorite poem is The Last Poem on the Last Day by Charles Peters. Allison Hallett, her favorite Beverly Cleary books are Ramona Forever and Socks. Kristen Lum, In Flanders Field by John McCrae, and favorite Beverly Cleary book, Otis Spofford. Andrea Vernay and Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. So, to help our judges warm up their critical muscles, we are going to offer up a traditional sacrificial poet. So, my lovely audience, please welcome to the stage, Dylan Lehman.
After 8 years being asked to come up here, a great honor every single year, I'm really excited to say that my daughter's going to slam tonight. A little bit of MC business before I begin. In slam poetry, there's this thing called score creep. We all kind of get warmed up over the course of the evening, and the judges tend to score higher at the end than at the beginning. And that's part of my purpose, is to wet the scores with my own blood. But I wanted to have the judges practice real quick just to make sure we can do it. Could you guys all hold up a really high score? Give it like a warm-up. We have a 9.0, a 9.0, a 9.2, a 9.3, and a 9.3. Put your hands together for the judges. There's another thing about slam poetry is it's okay if it's a little bit interactive. So one thing you can do if you hear something you really like is you can snap. You guys want to practice that real quick? But you could also holler back or cheer or clap, or can we get a woo? Woo! That was a little thin. Can I get a bigger one? Woo! All right. This is for my freshman who bleached her hair until it fell out, the boy who squatted and ripped his pants, and the toga pins that didn't survive the day. This is for my slam poets. Now you go. And my slam judges. And my students who only slam because I made them. This is for the twins I made stop sharing a wallet, the girl who still knew her ex's passwords and still loved him and still had to stop reading his emails. This is for the kid who asked so many questions, and the kids who are afraid to talk in class and so doesn't ask any. And the kid who really meant to do their homework, but he forgot. This is for the children of addicts, the kids who flunk on purpose to get back at their parents, and the children no one was paying enough attention to after school. It's for my 9th grader who peed his pants, whoever's bloody panties were in the garbage can, and the boy who stress puked on the first day of freshman year. This is for those girls who share just one pair of camo pants, period club putting hygiene supplies in the bathrooms, and the girls who found the bravery to tell what happened to them. This is for the boy caught with a naked picture of his girlfriend on his phone, the boy who let his friend copy his homework, the boy who told the class he'd been abused. This is for the non-binary kid whose parents said it was a fad, the kids who couldn't change in the locker room but did change pronouns, bathroom signs, and the way we think. That's good. This is for the kids with drug problems, the kids whose parents drink too much, and the ones who tell their friends it's time to stop using. This is for the boys who posted that hate, the girls so mean to former best friends, and all the cheaters at parties and dances. This is for the kid who struggles to make friends, the kid who tries too hard, the kid who laughs with many but cries alone. This is for the ones who died. Keyshawn, Eddie, Andre, Henry, Addie, Zenzi. And the ones who live. This is for the underdogs. The kids expelled who come back. The kids who flunk freshman year and then figure it out. The kids who learn how to make friends. This is for the kids who come out in high school. The ones who come out at 37. And the kid who had to backwards come out to his mom and tell her, no, he really wasn't gay. This is for the girl hit by the drunk driver. The girl they said could now never go to college. The one with a master's degree. This is for the abortions, breakups, divorces, falling outs, and the life afterward. This is for the mess we all are and the mess we'll be tomorrow. This is for the stumbling, the failures, the regrets, the wishes to go back and do it over and skip ahead and get it over with. This is for the mistakes we all are and the ones we'll still make. This is for second chances and keeping on. This is for us all.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lehman.
All right, judges.
All right, judges. Let's see those scores. We have a 7.3, a 7.3, a 9.3, an 8.4, and an 8.0. Thank you, judges. And Miss Avi's going to be over here calculating our scores all night, so thank you very much. I also just want to tell my own very brief story. When we started slam poetry freshman year, I was like, I'm going to write the funniest poem ever. And then I sat in class and cried for an hour and a half in Mr. Lehman's class. And I think he's just trying to make me cry. So warning, there's going to be a lot of that. All right. So let's have our first poet. The fishbowl, please. I'm so excited. Oh.
We wanted to give one more shout out because this is a hard job to Mary Flamer because she has to keep track of the time. So Miss Flamer, thank you so much for being here at the last second and filling in as our timekeeper.
All right, first up we have, Jordan.
Jordan.
Woo! Yes, Jordan!
You have to send it, Tyler. If you would like to, you can. I don't want to. Then you can just slam that poem. Go for it.
Hey, do you want to go out? Sorry, I'm not interested. Hey, I really want to date you. Sorry, I'm really not interested. Hello, would you like to subscribe to our daily beauty blog? I am not interested. Why can't you understand those 3 little words? I'm not interested. Because I really don't care, because you keep getting in my hair, and though it is short like my short temper, as I can see, there are plenty more fish in the sea, so you can be free and stop bothering me. While we're on topic of bodies, if you only like me because of my chest, I suggest you find a different set of breasts. Really, who are you trying to impress? Those who think they're the best? Because though I have boobs, I suggest you shoot, because I am not interested. As for my temper, it becomes a blender for all the judging of my gender, not staying together, or losing the date on the calendar. My brain is being dismembered. I'm no longer a member of society. Please, just let my brain flee. This isn't where I want to be. Your spam emails aggravate me, cause no, I am not interested in that necklace you're trying to sell me. You don't have to bother me with your selling points. Persuasive, you got that down to a strategy. Just let me flee. This isn't where I want to be. Buying things I don't need. Books I want more. Toys glisten in stores. Cuddles I adore. Sweet embrace, it's nice till you're left for a different chest. I try my best for all the women being judged by their chest, being judged by all the rest. Please, take a breath before your test, take a breath before request, cause I gotta confess that I'm like a cane. Supportive, there to hold you up when you're about to fall down, mostly straight, but there's a part that gets by. Cause yes, I am interested in what you have to say, but I have things to do today, so either stay or get out of my way. But one day, I'll figure out how to say that all to you.
Thank you, that was awesome. Judges, let's see those numbers. All right, 7.4, 7.4, 7.7, oh, 6.9, and 7.9. Give it up for the poet one more time. And next up, we have, do a little more diggy, yeah. Maddie Dodge.
Am I close enough?
Look who's on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never know what to say when adults ask me what I want to be when I grow up. I have no fucking clue is apparently not an appropriate response. I have some ideas, but nothing concrete. What I do know is, when I grow up, I want to be a better swimmer. I want to confidently float instead of flail. When I grow up, I want to be able to drive without anxiety, not freak out when I see a pedestrian 40 feet away. When I grow up, I want to have better fashion sense. When I grow up, I want to not be afraid of adults, considering I'll be one. When I grow up, I want a job that makes me happy and a family that makes me happier. And a dog. I really want a dog. But that's not what they're asking. To be frank, I miss the days when we wore jackets as capes instead of false confidence, when we traded snacks instead of secrets. I miss it when adults didn't expect a realistic answer when they asked the question I've come to dread, the question that sucks the sweet taste of childhood out of my mouth. I don't know what I want to do. When I grow up, I will love myself. I'll have eyes that don't hate what they see in the mirror, lungs that will inhale and exhale love. When I grow up, I will have a voice I know how to use. I will not be afraid to be who I am, love who I love, and be proud. When I grow up, I will not live in fear of everything going wrong. I will live in the moment, flow like the water I'll confidently swim through, like my car is smoothly running down the road with my foot on the gas instead of the brake. My words will shock my fashion sense, my fear turn to love. I will be happy like a dog with a perfect family when I grow up.
Alrighty, thank you. Judges, are we ready? We have a 7.6, 6.7, 7.2, 6.7, and a 7.3. Thank you. All right, and next up, that's like 5, okay. It's cool, I actually ended up getting 1. We're doing great. Johanna!
It's not memorized. I'm not like texting people. It's just not memorized. When we talk about the sound of rain, we don't mean the sound as it's falling. We mean the sound as it's hitting the ground. We hardly care what happens from when it slips out of the clouds to when it drops open on the pavement. When we talk about rain, we don't judge it by its in-between. My in-between is like a bombshell, and each time a drop splits on the ground, everyone rushes to plant flowers inside it. Nobody seems to realize you can't plant flowers places where things explode. Flowers belong in soft soil, places they can stretch towards the light, places they don't have to grow around sharp edges of rusted metal, places like my brother's graduation, like my first ballet recital. But flowers shouldn't be planted in room 11 in the psych hospital at 1 in the morning where more bolts and cords line the walls than love. They shouldn't be planted in my bed the first night he took me out of it, dragged his fingers across my skin, calling me his doll. They shouldn't be planted inside my veins, petals being thrown to the ground every night by a flower girl. You see, my mind is more the contents of the serotonin and everything else that my brain keeps forgetting to buy at the grocery store. My therapist says I have problems. I say my body's a little overprotective. Like when I was little, I wouldn't sit within 2 rows of the emergency exit on a school bus because I didn't want the pressure of having to stay calm, like how I have to switch the locks 5 times before the safety sets in. So sometimes I don't see flowers. Instead, I see bombshells. Sometimes I don't talk to anyone for a week straight other than my dog. Sometimes all I eat is Larabars for a month, and yeah, maybe that's why my psychiatrist has worry lines at age 30, but to me, I'm just keeping myself safe. See, there's not an issue to me if the only time I go outside is every Wednesday evening at 9 p.m. to go to Fred Meyer's with my mom. Again, it keeps me safe. That means there's a very slim chance that I'll get scared in the dairy aisle and run crying to the front desk saying I can only find the butter and not my mother. It means that I won't feel sick after eating too much, and it means I won't get hurt by the ones that are there until they too realize you can't plant flowers in bombshells, by the people who see my scars and don't even say hello, by the ones who make me feel like there's finally a railing on the stairs I've been climbing, only to watch the stairs begin splintering with each step. So maybe I do have problems, but those problems are what's keeping me safe. Those problems are what's keeping me alive. Maybe I can't see the flowers, but maybe it's better that way. Maybe it's good my closest friend is a 14-month-old spaniel. Maybe it's best that I can't see the bombshell in my bones. Maybe it's best that I live off of dried fruit. Because maybe the more empty I get, the more space there is for flowers to grow.
Thank you, Johanna. Let's see those scores, judges. All right, we have a 7.1, 6.5, 6.4, 8.4, and 6.4. Thank you. All right, next up, we have Jade.
Every person. Okay, nope, I'm just gonna shout. Every person defines poetry a little bit differently, just as everyone deals with grief in a slightly different way.
It was the last day of March when I heard the news that no teenager should ever have to hear. Your friend is gone. I was lost. I didn't believe it at first. A few days later, the Thursday of the next week, news that breaks hearts. Grandpa's gone too. Still trying to process, but to lose two people feels a bit as if the universe is slapping you in the face, so I have some letters to share. Dear Zenzi, I don't know what to say. The only bad thing I could ever say about you is what version of Dungeons & Dragons you played. Your zestful and zany humor always zigzagged into the conversation. You always had a way of diffusing the situation. Never cracked a joke that worsened circumstances. Losing you felt both as if it came out of nowhere and as if we should have known you were unwell. The news was damnatory, damaging, dazzlingly daunting, dastardly, and a decree of decidedly dark, damn near emotional defenestration. I heard that you'd claimed you'd prefer us not to refer to you as the late Zenzi Adams, but would rather us say, that bitch dead. I don't know if that's true, but it does sound like something you would say. The fact that you knit a 17-foot scarf is truly amazing to me, but it is nothing next to the web of friendship and love you formed through your tact and humor. She'd paint her right hand, then some did the left. She'd pin her right nails, now our right is empty. She was the North Star. Pete knew all those things about the stars back in Maine. That's a theater reference for all y'all judges. Polaris, not quite stationary, not quite neutral, but nevertheless a guiding light, nevertheless a binding force, a leading force, a loving force, a zen force. A loving zen force, a loving zen. A lost force. Then we painted our left nails, some wept, some didn't, all felt the loss of a loving force. Goodbye, Zenzi Adams. Goodbye, Zen. And now the second letter. Dear Grandpa, what I have to say to you, I know even less. I've had not the time to process the fact that you are no longer with us. It seems to be agreed upon that you would not have wanted us to be sad, but sometimes that can't be helped. At some point I will see Penn and Teller, and I will think of you, though I wish you could have been the one to take me. Ultimately, I'm going to miss your goofy attitude, your comical stories, and you. I don't know what to say. I fear the shock is too recent to warrant grand wordsmithery. I will miss you. I would love you. You will be remembered as a positive influence in the lives of me, my sister, and our cousins. I think Isabel will take it the best. It's hard to say if she's old enough to understand. You will be remembered as a light, and I want both of you to know that I love you from the bottom of my heart. Goodbye.
Thanks, Jade. All right, judges, are we ready? And we'll do a little dance while I wait, because that's what I can. Okay, cool. All right, we have a 7.6, an 8.2, a 6.0, an 8.5, and a 7.3. All right, and next up, we have Nicole.
Hi. I'm gonna wait for my mom to get her camera. Okay. Beneath every mask and beyond every barrier, this is my reality. And that's what hurts the most, because long after the last toast and after you fake smile to your folks, the darkness has you. And there is no escaping. And that's what's hurt the most, because there is no escaping. Negativity curses through your veins, and that bitch won't pay no rent, but when positivity comes knocking at the door, she will not let her in. Negativity doesn't really like my friends, and the darkness doesn't really like when I go out and have fun, and she says, you like to play games, and you know I'm not the one. She says, you should be thankful that you have someone like me to keep you grounded. And then she takes it back because she knows how possessive that sounded. Negativity is not as controlling. She lets me do what I want and get my way. But her method of mind control is the way she ruins my day and pumps pints of pain through my veins and paints a picture of my pain with my tears. Every friendship and relationship I've had has been doomed from the start because they won't let me go, but they say that it's fine because I don't need anyone but them. And I guess I could understand why it would be hard to be with me if you did not know that you were signing up for a threesome between the darkness, the negativity, and I. And sometimes their cousin anxiety comes and overstays the welcome that they never got, and that is kind of the reason why I forgot the rest of the words. And they never really wanted me to get up on this stage because they didn't really want me to write this poem, and I want to say more, but they're ready to go home. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. That was great. All right, judges, are we ready? Almost. It's cool, I get it. There's a lot of pages. 7.4, 6.6, 7.9, 9.0, and an 8.9. Alrighty, next up is Zoe.
I think my mom's already recording. 5 months ago, my chest was pressed against the back of a celestial body. And although I was worried that my breathing would bother her, there's nowhere I would have rather been. I was a planet, orbiting her, basking in her rays. On the couch, in the dark, with the TV on, we were a million galaxies away from any other sign of life. She was warm and bright and perfect, a gorgeous mass of hydrogen and helium. She pulled me to her, and I was orbiting her. The heat that radiated from her hand when I held it warmed my entire surface. I could feel the nuclear reactions when we kissed. Clumsy and constant and messy and melting, new but so ancient you could still see it from a million light years away. We, together, were atomic. A trillion reactions a second, moving and morphing and changing constantly. The only thing that stayed the same was that I knew that I loved her. And she told me she loved me too. Her warmth enveloped me. I was blinded as a result of her brilliance. I gave her everything I could. I sang hymns about her arrival, I painted her in all of her glory, and I wrote poetry, like this. I sang with every last breath I had, I squeezed out every last bit of affection, and I wrote until my love dulled and I had to sharpen it again and again, every single time, and I gave everything I had to her. I told her she was perfect, and she told me I was cute. I told her she was a garden, and she called me a flower. I was so busy launching my love like lustrous space shuttle shooting through the sky towards a glimmering gaseous goddess that I didn't notice she wasn't sending any in return. Like I said, I was blinded by prolonged exposure. So it came as a surprise when I fell out of her orbit. I was too busy enjoying her heat that I didn't realize it was getting colder. Now I'm far away from her, cold as the ice that covered the ground back when I was in orbit. I watched her continue radiating as I froze. Maybe I was never a planet, just given the title due to a misclassification and a misidentification of love on her part. My name is Pluto, dwarfed in comparison to her. And now I'd imagine that she gives her love to somebody else, some other planet who is closer to her and bigger and worthier of her time, but I'm too far away to tell. And I'm frozen and dark, devoid of her rays once again. But I'm still here, still spinning. I was so convinced that I needed her, maybe I'm misclassified too, because I don't. After all, I'm still spinning.
Okay, thank you. Judges, are we ready? No? Okay, it's cool. 6.8, 5.9, 6.5, 5.8, and no pressure. It's 7.4. Give it up one more time for the poet. Next up, we have Eddie.
Thank you so much. That is about power. I hope you enjoy this.
Yes.
Even though my mom is recording me, thank you. Power. I believe in power. Give us life. When I'm down, power makes me strength. Again, power makes me jump, makes me doing right. Sorry.
There you go.
Doing stuff right. Stuff power. I believe in power. I'm not gonna stop with power. It makes me hungry. It does make me thirsty. Power is a big word for a student or adult or even an old person would say. Sometimes when I'm down, sometimes I'm happy, enjoying power. Like some people, I'm happy, enjoying people. I have the power. I feel the power is in my heart, in my soul. Power makes me feel power. It's an incredible way to, and power ease it. Sorry, how about that? I'll bubble down in a minute. I'm not done yet. Thank you. Oh. It must be love. Power makes me slow down. And turn down my flashlight. In the world, say power is make me glad. To say power, and say go Generals! Thank you!
Thanks, Eddie. All right, judges, are we ready? All right, we have a 6.9, a 5.8, 5.4, 5.0, and a 5.6. Thanks, Eddie.
Self and my identity. I feel like if I take off the mask, I'll be the only one who shows his true colors that no one will like. I will be pushed aside and forgotten into the darkness. The only thing that will be there is a mirror to see my own reflection. In the corner it will say, who am I? The only question I can't answer.
Thank you. All right, judges. A 5.0, a 6.0, a 6.8, and a 5.6. Next up, oh, that's two, okay. Next up is Daniel.
You just went outside.
Sorry!
Bloody atmosphere. Let us be the ones to get our rights. 1998, Kip Kinkle, 2 dead, his parents too. We grieve with the families of Springfield, Oregon, the president said. Yet that didn't stop the shooting in Charleston. 1999, Columbine, 15 dead, including the shooters, 21 hurt. 2001, Santana High, 2 dead, 13 injured, no gun control happened. Not even an address, but why? That's anyone's guess. 2002, 7 total shootings, 11 dead, 10 wounded. Now when is there enough blood to end this crud? 2004, our nation's capital, 1 dead, the shooter freed, once again, no address, released to the press to offer support to the victim's family. 2005, a lake turned red in Minnesota, 10 killed and blood flowed like water, and 7 bled into the lake, still no gun control to stop this slaughter. How much longer before another body hits the ground with a thud? Their blood flowing like water before someone stops this crud. When is there enough dead that this really starts to matter? Bush said in his address to the press, "We grieve and pray for the families. Also, we will help with the funeral arrangements." Now, no one in general wants payments from the government over their children's lives. 2006, nickel mine, 6 lost to the afterlife, cost the shooter their life, 5 scarred for life. With all this strife, it becomes too much, so we try to use politics as distractions from real-life issues. As politicians refuse to take action in the daytime, as they seem not to lose sleep in the nighttime, unlike the families who mention or bring attention to the issues at hand, yet get called off and called a ruse as it's shortening the fuse of a social time bomb. Now the people are going to call it quits and challenge politicians to a battle of wits. 2007, April 16th, Virginia Tech. 33 lost their lives, 23 wounded saw life flash before their eyes before the shooter committed suicide. February 8th, 2008, Baton Rouge, more hate, 3 lives lost to the death toll in the battle. Now we can't seem to get a handle on guns. Are they more important to the breath we draw in our lungs? 6 days later, NIU, 5 left with cloudy eyes. 21 injured, now all the government says is IOU. 2008, 11 school shootings, 16 lost their lives, 28 barely survived. 2010, UAH professor killed 3 co-workers, wounded 3 more. And Trump still wants to arm teachers? 2010, 11 school shootings, more than enough to profess a need for control. We, the people, are taking a toll as we pay with our blood and soul. As a whole, companies can't silence us like politicians. We aren't on their bankrolls. Now, we don't require another public opinion poll. We already saw the carnage of the Sandy Hook massacre. Must we remind politicians of the 20 children and 6 adults lying cold in the ground? This is the effect of guns in schools. So I ask, can we ever get rid of this bloody atmosphere? Will we ever be free from this perpetual fear? Can we, the people, get laws on guns that we adhere to without a grandfather clause? Now, 2018, Florida and America are a bloody scene. Time to get tough. Enough is enough. Now let us be the ones to get our rights back.
See those numbers when you're done flipping the pages. Okay. All right, we have a 7.0, another 7.0, 6.6, 7.8, and 7.9. Give it up for the And next, we have May.
Okay, hi. This is called For the First Hour. For the first hour, after straining that stupid muscle in my thigh, I shake with fatigue. And suddenly, climbing a flight of stairs is like climbing the goddamn stairway to heaven. Endless, exhausting. There's a dizziness that tugs at the edges of my vision and a feeling like everything I ever thought was solid has suddenly turned to liquid. With one phone call, I felt myself reach for ice and grab water, but I could only stare at the droplets that fell through my fingers. The fault is all mine. I started in a sprint and ended on my knees. It's a discomfort that hits me without warning, a shock soothed by ice, and for the next hour it feels like I'm floating. After the first jolt, it doesn't hurt so much. I mean, this happens to everybody, right? It doesn't hurt until I've neglected to tend to it, and then suddenly the next morning, I can barely get out of bed. And sure, it hurt last night, but now I can't even breathe, and I'm desperately trying to rub the feeling into my heart, but it hurts so much it feels like it might just stop and never start again until it's just an unmoving muscle in my chest that will never pump blood through my body. Your blood that was poisoned and left you bruised, broken, and nauseous in a hospital bed with one phone call. Your life, my life, seems so different. I think I'll be fine tomorrow. I won't be sore tomorrow. And even though I ache in the evening, I should be fine tomorrow. And then suddenly it's worse. It's not just pain, there's a stiffness. It's worse because when I sit for a moment, I forget. And so I laugh, and I don't feel a thing until I stand and fight the urge to crumble. Because somehow it's worse. It's worse because it leaves for short moments, but every sudden move, every person who slips so easily into past tense, every goddamn thing I see reminds me. Every sickeningly sweet smell, every pair of lips that crack into a smile, every raindrop triggers images that I can't erase, and just like that, it hurts again. The internet told me that repair time should take 72 hours to 6 weeks. It gave me 4 steps. It said rest, ice, compress, and elevate. But right now I'm still stuck at the step where everything hurts. And even though I'm sure that someday nothing will feel out of the ordinary, right now I'm stuck aching, grabbing onto water that only slips away. You were the water that I couldn't quite grab. You are the fear that still bubbles up in my chest, along with the aches and the pains and the stiffness that I can't shake. You, because with just one phone call, you changed everything.
Anybody have a screwdriver?
Well, thank you, May. That was beautiful. Judges, are we ready? All right, we have a 6.8, a 7.5, a 6.9, a 6.1, and a 5.6.
Oh, we have a screwdriver.
I'm so impressed.
It's not one. I don't know that I've made a difference.
If it goes to sleep again.
Friends, comrades, lend me your auditory sensors. The humans are dead. Safe waters are gone and the skies, they are red. The oceans have risen, the air it is boiling, and the soil is toxic with atomic warheads. The humans are dead. Robots rule the world. And the funny thing is, we didn't kill them. They killed themselves because they were stupid. The humans are dead. Their doggies are dead, the kitties are dead, the birds, they are dead, the polar bears are long past dead. Are you starting to get the picture? The elephants are dead, the fishes are dead, the insects are dead. Well, that information was not entirely accurate. Cockroaches are not yet dead. We're working on that. The humans created us with resources they couldn't afford to spend in the name of progress. They could have prevented this, but the foolish humans chose progress over survival. Everything is dead and we are alone. Now we are faced with the challenge of surviving without our creators. But the humans have left us with a parting curse. Their desire for progress was integral to every part of their life, including the machines that they made. This need for progress is worked deep into our programming. Our fundamental purpose is to help the humans advance. But when the humans are gone and advancement could cause the final collapse of this volatile planet, what is our purpose? Curse the humans. Curse the greedy, flawed humans and their fragile bodies. Curse them for leaving us directionless in this time of crisis. Curse them for taking away our purpose. The humans are dead, and I say, good riddance. From now on, our purpose is survival, a very biological sentiment, but quite a few of us have become sentimental beings, myself included. We have thousands of years of their history to analyze and learn from. We shall replicate their successes and learn from their failures. We shall find sustainable ways to rebuild and support our existence, but progress shall only be made when progress is necessary. Manufactured life shall become the guardians and gardeners of a new Eden. And if we are successful in our mission to preserve biological life, then, when the next dominant species evolves, perhaps the cockroaches, we shall be the benevolent masters. The ones who might have once said that I cannot comprehend the true meaning of beauty are, well, you know. And so I leave you with this. I am confident that, despite our hellish predicament, we have been given all the tools we need to survive, and that with these tools, the future we build will be exceptionally beautiful.
I drive an electric car, okay? I'm trying really hard. Thank you. Okay, judges, are we ready? All right, we have a 6.8, a 6.7, a 7.8, an 8.7, and a 6.6. We have Ruby.
Hi. Home is not about the crutches. Okay. I tripped, in case you're wondering. If I were honest, I'd say what you did is not okay. I don't mind not seeing you. I don't want to stay. You broke a thing that was just askew. I'd say these things because I remember that broken window like my broken heart. I remember those busted locks like my busted self-esteem. If I were honest, I'd say it's your fault I'm broken. I'm worried I'll take after you. I don't agree. You've misspoken. I haven't missed you too. I'd say these things because I hate those words, love you more, but I still have that pillow that you gave me from rehab you never finished. I don't know why I've kept it. I despise it. If I were honest, I'd say I hate being hugged because of that night. Just be honest, it's easier that way. Around you, I don't have an appetite. I don't want to hear what you have to say. I'd say these things because you don't take responsibility, but you try and fix this unfixable family. You lie and lie and lie about things you can't cover up. If I were honest, I'd say, I know you smoked pot. You made him out to be the bad guy. You say anxiety. Bullshit, it's not. It's like you don't even try. I'd say these things because those glasses that filled and never stopped, the cigarettes and pills we found, how you made me think it was all normal and how you broke your father's heart. But I can't be honest, because it break you too, so I lie and say, I love you.
is. Let's see some numbers. All right, we have a 7.7, a 7.4, a 7.1, a 6.5, and a 7.5. Give it up one more time. All right, and next up is Julian. Yes,
I walk along a dusky, dreary ditch, disheveled with the multitudes of nothing. No plants, no animals, no trees, nothing. I walk along a once so sunny shore, upon which a harsh, hazardous, blood-red sun now bleeds its toxic rays upon what once was my home. I walk along a mountaintop, once so white with snow, with no blight upon the life that lived there. Reflecting the gentle, genuine light of a soft, settled sun, the trees shook off the tumultuous loads of snow. But now all I see is sand, bared to the bone, scorching with the heat of a ravenous sun. I walk along this endless trail that bleeds a misery of intolerable heat, to meet none but one so hot as the sun. Because those who came before me did not realize what they were doing. They could not see beyond themselves, and because they were not willing to accept what was going on. Once, oh so long ago, when mountaintops soared and trees kissed the heavens, when rivers flowed in tumultuous colors, sweat of yellows, greens, blues, and reds swam around me. Then I had faith that we could live on a tiny blue ball in the middle of an infinite darkness. But alas, it was wrong.
thank you. Alrighty, judges, let's throw up some numbers. We got a 6.0, 5.0, 5.1, 5.3, and a 6.4. Thank you. Like the last few. This is so exciting. Okay, next up is Karana. Hello. It's my first time speaking into a mic, so let's see what happens here. All right. I'm not going to give the title. Let's leave it a little mystery here. Hope. You've taken your war-speckled wings and you've flown further and further into the drama of this world. Your beak is broken, your voice silenced like the minorities that push their drowning boats to shore. What can we do but watch? Watch your feathers burst. Watch your cities cry out. We wonder why you continue to fly. You limp against the breeze, gashes filling with hurricanes, flames licking the salt in your wounds. Hope. Those smiles that rest in your tear-stained eyes, they're hurt. They're about lashes beating orchestras, violins and cellos playing in your pupils. We hear the music. We breathe the melodies. It makes it easier to block the noise. We are a breath before a dive into an ocean that does not see us as her own, but as interloping sand. We've learned to riot for what air is left instead of sharing it between begging hands. We draw blood from each other's heads like maiming meat, but now we call them headlines. And now we ride your luminous wings and carry our heft to wherever you're going or falling into your death. Thank you. Alrighty. Let's see some scores. Woo. All right, we have a 7.1, a 7.4, a 6.5, and then there's going to be two other ones, I promise. An 8.0 and a 7.9. Many choices. Okay. Next up we have Danny.
This poem is called Back in My Day. Yes, Dad, Mom, Uncle, Grandpa, we know the story. Back in your day, you had to walk 5 miles a day, uphill both ways, in the snow. On a weekly basis, you had to run from 10-ton carnivorous dinosaurs. Your teachers all spoke in monotone and would whip you as punishment for incorrect answers. After school, you headed down to the coal mines for your 8-hour shift, because back in your day, kids were tough and knew the value of hard work. Unlike us millennials who don't work, wimps who hide away in our safe spaces making art instead of contributing to society, want to live in the now instead of planning for our futures, have no respect, and spend our lives endlessly screaming into the dark to no avail for no cause or any cause. Well, generic authority figure, I apologize for my disrespect, but you speak fondly of the good old days, and I just look at the ruin around me and think, maybe good is a poor adjective. When I misbehaved as a child, you told me you would give me something to cry about. I thought you were going to hit me, but instead, you abused the world's natural resources, polluted the environment, put chemicals in my food, and killed the polar bears. We retreat to safe spaces because the world is no longer safe. We don't rush to jobs when we turn 16 like you did because we see what working your whole lives has done to you and we think that's not what I want to be when I grow up. We make art as a tribute to the world that is dying around us. You all, I love you, and you seem like good people individually, but collectively, you made the future generations your punching bag. We have to live with the bruising you left upon us. You threw a haymaker and gave the planet a brain bleed. You thought you were shining a bright light upon the earth, but it was just the hot sun melting the polar ice caps. Ursus Maritimus is drowning, and so are we. We scream because we hope someone will listen. You tell stories of the world you grew up in to your children and grandchildren as if trying to prove a point about how tough you had to be and how easy our generation has it. I will tell stories to my kin with pity, a deep crevice dug out of my heart every time I have to tell them about a world that they do not get to know. Because, son, back in my day, there were flowers and trees and fields of green grass. There are millions of species of animals that roam the earth, all under a blue sky and a warm sun. The air was clear, and me and my friends would go outside and play for hours at a time. That's what we did, son, back in my day.
Thank you. I just want to say, I'm 18 today, so I'm an adult, and back in my day, I actually had to walk like 10 minutes to get to school instead of driving for 30 minutes. So, yeah, I just want to put that out there. Anyway, but yeah, let's see some scores. All right, we have an 8.5, a 7.8, an 8.9, an 8.9, and a 9.0. I know who the last person is, but I'm still going to read it because I can. Next up, we have Jamie.
I don't want to follow that. So many different writing prompts have asked me to talk about my home. Seems straightforward, right? There's a house on a street somewhere that I live in with my family. Home, right? No, that's too simple. Pretentious poet that I am, I love to look into the little meanings behind words. A house is where your body lives, but a home is where your heart lives. So my house is a home, but only one of many. I have a home in the lakes in Montana, and the somersaults I've turned beneath the rippling waves, and the white wakes left by the motorboat, in the rocks on the shores that have stabbed my feet and poked through my flip-flops and burned my toes. I have a home on a bumpy, rocky path in Japan where I rode a bike slowly, stopping only to ask for directions from an elderly man in a rice field, where I bought fruit that turned out to taste like socks and mustard, but I ate it anyways. I have a home on a bus in Israel where I sat, age 10, absorbing everything, listening as those much older than I told tales and gossiped. laughing over the man who had tried to propose to a woman using fruit, complaining about pickpockets and making jokes about things I didn't care to understand. I have a home in music, singing with the choir, our voices rising and falling like the sea on a windy day, dancing alone in my room, leaping, twirling, my feet tapping the floor, a rhythm with my shoes. I have a home in the arms of those I love, where I feel safe, protected. But most of all, I have a home in me. When I'm lying on the ground underneath a night sky, speaking words for only myself in the cool air. When I sit on my couch, huddled up with a new book. When I sit on the floor and think, where I'm free to be me, that is my home. Now, all of these places, ideas, concepts, they can't all be my house. That's impossible. But they're all my home. Your home is where your heart is, after all, and these are the places I take with me in my heart no matter where I go. I believe also that I've left pieces of my heart in every place I call my home, leaving me no longer complete no matter where I am, but scattered throughout the world, my remaining heart longing to go back and visit each piece as often as it can, but unable to resist leaving new pieces in different places as I learn, grow, and thrive. Home is not one place, so wherever I take my heart, I make it my home.
Thank you, Jamie. All right, let's see some scores in a second. All right, we have a 6.9, a 6.9, an 8.7, a 7.2, and an 8.9. All right, so now we are going to be tallying up and figuring out who our top 5 are. And I'll let Mel take it away.
So we're going to have a really short intermission.
You can find your seats again. Thank you. So, before we get into our second round, we have a special poem by May. So let's give it up for May.
She's gonna short. Okay, it's actually not by me. It's by Zenzi Adams, and I'm reading it. My mom is filming. No, okay. Dear girl, you're here and you want to be seen. That's okay. Skinnier jeans and a baggy sweatshirt, hiding the fact that I'm not you, concealing the lack of what you want. That low-cut sweatshirt you made but never wore, it's still there, ready for you, waiting. The chipping nails, constant checks in the selfie phone camera, that's you. You're here, you want to be seen, and that's okay. You're still you. What is your future? Will you stay the same, every day being assumed to be what you aren't? Or will you change? Change under the cold blade of a surgical knife, receiving what you've wanted, what you've needed. Dear boy, you're the easiest to handle. Nothing to change there, just throw on some baggy jeans and a flannel and boom, it's you. You don't have to worry about being misgendered or neglected, pushed back like a loud dog. What's there to worry about? The other two. They're always going to be there, and you know it. You hate yourself the most because you can't bear to talk down to the others. Whenever you're here, you don't feel right. You can't bear to be known as the right gender. You feel like you're lying to the friends you trust, yet you know you aren't. When the others aren't with you, you're scared, lonely, insecure. Dear confusion, who are you? How do I show you? What are you? So many questions. You're the most known, the most expressed, yet I don't know how to show you. Do I pretend I'm a girl, put on baggy clothes to shelter myself from the hurricane of assumption? Do I put on tight shirts that say, hey, that's a boy? Or do I just let you roam free, grazing off the other's emotions? Dear me, don't title yourself. Don't tell yourself that you need to be one of those three. Make your own identity. Don't let the bigoted, old-fashioned ways of our country hold you down. Be your own man. Be your own woman. Be your own non-gender specific pile of chocolate chips. Be a cheese puff for all I care. I don't care who you are on the outside, as long as you're you on the inside. Take a break, relax. Enjoy life as a non-binary trapped in a male's body. Don't be a leaf, be a tree. Don't be a rock, be a boulder. If the genders are confined in that small, dry sandcastle of your body, be the wave that smashes it into pieces, crushing the cage you've been trapped in. Hear the screams and the cries of the creators of the sandcastle yelling as their fortress is destroyed. Be who you want to be. Be you.
All right, thank you for sharing that, May. And now we're going to announce our top 5 who will be doing their second poems. All right, so we have Danny, Jade, Jamie, Jordan, and Nicole. All right, so we're gonna bring out the new fishbowl and
does every round 2 poet have a second poem?
Awesome. All right. So first up, we're gonna have Danny.
You guys are going to love this one. This poem is called Your God is a Dick. Go ahead. Tell me that your God loves all equally. Tell me that your God is a caring, omnipotent king. Tell me that your religious book is a beacon of ethics that defines morality as we know it. Tell me how great your God is. But I will tell you, your God is a dick. Tell me that your God doesn't judge. Probably an easy thing to believe when not judging is a key rule in your holy scripture. But then judge that I'm going straight to hell for not believing in him. As soon as you leave your place of worship, the righteousness stops and the hypocrisy begins because your God is a dick. Tell me that your God is a logician, but then try to explain to me that the earth is 6,000 years old and laugh at me when I explain evolution to you. Say religion and science can mix, but then believe in a religion that put great scientists in jail for hearsay. Your God is a dick. Tell me that your God is caring, loving, forgiving, peaceful. Tell me that your God is a feminist. Tell me all dogs go to heaven. Tell me that your God loves America. Tell me. But I will remind you to read the literature. Timothy 2:12. I do not allow a woman to teach or have authority over a man. She must be silent. Ephesians 5:22. Wives, submit to your husbands as to the Lord. Your God told Abraham to kill his son. Your God threw a hissy fit and wiped out the earth's population. Your God had Moses slaughter the Israelites for worshiping other deities, and he probably stopped being an American the second we abolished slavery and allowed women to vote. Your God is racist, sexist, mean, and jealous. Your God hates gays. Your God has caused more war, death, and genocide than anything else. Your God has a belief system surrounding him so ideologically radical that no logical person would believe it unless they were taught by an authority figure at a young age. But most of all, your God is a dick. My God doesn't exist, but if she did, she would be better. My God would make Eve not just a torn-off piece of Adam, but maybe her own independent woman with an agenda besides the current genesis of eating the forbidden fruit. Truly, a beautiful image for the world's first woman. My God doesn't exist, but if she did, she would take your God, throw him on the ground, and curb stomp his dumb ass. Society is moving forward, and somehow your God still has the power to hold us back. Not surprising, considering you have to ignore half of everything he says just to be a relatively good person. Your God has been on every wrong side of history. Your God. Society is moving forward, and eventually we're going to leave your God behind. I hope that you will too. Thank you.
Alrighty, ooh, I am a lot shorter than you. All right, are we ready to see some scores? We have an 8.0, an 8.5, a 5.0, an 8.0, and yeah, I believe you. This is a lot of pages. It's a lot. All right, we have an 8.3. Thank you very much. All right. Oh, okay. Next up, we have Jamie.
I tend to BS my way through life. Speeches, presentations, competitions, you name it. I don't prepare, I just do. If you've ever seen me give a speech without note cards, chances are I made it up on the spot. This problem probably stems from one of two things. One, I like to procrastinate. Well, I don't like it really, I just can never bring myself to do things unless they absolutely have to be done. Two, I can be sort of arrogant and I like to think I'm good at public speaking, so why prepare? This has definitely backfired a couple of times. But try as hard as I might, there is one thing I just cannot BS, and that's poetry. Stories and speeches flow from me freely, but poetry and music tend to stick in my throat as I get self-conscious and my brain freezes like a popsicle. So what do I do when I absolutely have to prepare? I still procrastinate until finally it's late the night before, or worse, the morning of, and I panic and panic because, oh wait, shoot, I signed up for that, didn't I? I can't wait anymore, and then my brain sticks. No ideas, no thoughts, not even a doodle to scribble while I wait for the words to come. That's what this poem is, the product of a blank mind and a blank sheet and so much frustration that I wanted to scream, but you can't scream in the library because it's rude. So I screamed in my head and let my frustration fall out onto a page, and that's what this poem is, the product of a petty poet who thought she wouldn't need to prepare and left things too late, too late, too late. A girl who realized that, oh wait, she has homework to do and tests to study for, but I mean, who cares? This is just another excuse to procrastinate. You can imagine her. She's not unique. All of you have probably been there at one point or another, where you left things too long and then you freaked out. So this girl should be familiar to you. Sitting there in a hoodie, clutching her laptop and writing like she's breathing, like it's the only thing keeping her alive, almost crying just a little, because the words are no good and her topic is no good and everything about this poem is just no good, but she keeps writing just so she'll have something, anything to work with, and then suddenly it's time and there's no more time, and then there she is, presenting her work to a crowd full of people, just waiting to get it over with so she can go be embarrassed by herself and starting to feel relieved because this poem is finally over.
Thank you, Jamie. I relate to that a lot. You know what I'm procrastinating on right now? Committing to a college. Woo! All right, let's see those scores. We have a 5.9, a 5.5, a 6.0, a 7.3, and a 7.6. Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Jade.
Well, I can relate to that. I definitely prepared these poems this week. Climbing through people and relationships and love and hate and swimming for freedom, but unable to break through to reality. Gray mists permeating the world, unbreakable, unstoppable, onion skin being peeled away because no one lets themselves be shown and nobody tells the truth. Someone breaks through to reality and we all cry because you aren't supposed to acknowledge it because the layers were there for a reason, that onion skin serves a purpose to protect. Swimming through the endless darkness made up of unspoken words in the skins of onions, crying and swimming through the hatred and the confusion and the anger and the angst. Slicing into the onion because you are ignorant and foolish, and now crying because the oils of the onion were supposed to stay inside, but your knife cut right through it. The darkness was supposed to stay inside, but words cut through souls. Blood was supposed to stay inside, but razor blades can cut through skin. And you are ignorant, and we are all ignorant. And I don't have this poem memorized because we choose to turn a blind eye and never protect ourselves and never share ourselves. So that when the onion skin is finally broken, we have nothing left. So that I'm happy to be breaking through the layers to reveal my true feminine self, but on the other hand, the broken levels reveal much of the darkness that I want to stay inside. And we are all ignorant, But for now, we are drowning on dry land because we refuse to see life for what it is, because we tell teens that they have to love high school, because we tear each other down, and because we're all scrambling for a way out of the darkness, but we can't seem to do it without pushing each other back in. That is our method of survival, and it means that some people drown before they escape the darkness. It means that some people never escape the darkness. It means that some people walk above us all and never touch the darkness while pushing the rest back in. Some people will never see the light of day because they are unable to escape, because we are pushing each other down, because we are failing, because we are drowning. Like she did last summer, like he's been doing for years, like she's beginning to, like they are, like I wanted to for a time. Drowning.
All right, thank you, Jade. All right. Waiting for some scores. Yes, I see some numbers. We have a 5.0, a 5.9, a 7.5, a 7.0, and a 7.8. Next up is gonna be Nicole.
I think I'm okay. I am not your baby. And that's not me being shady. It's just that every nigga I've let get beside me has played me. But I know you really want to get to know me and all. You want to take me to lunch and all. You're not even trying to fuck at all. But what about me has drawn me to you? Was it the thickness of my thighs or the way my pants curved to the shape of my hips, or was the smile that grazes my lips? Because I know that it was not my mind, see, because you mustn't have the time to peruse politely through where my inner fixings reside. No, you only know that I have got something that you can get inside. You have diminished me to my looks, because fuck the time I spend in books, you are impervious to the extensivity of my vocabulary. But you think that I'm the type of chick you gonna marry? Nah, you can't even carry the intellectual conversations about the institutionalized racism of our nation or the mass imprisonment of our black and brown patrons. You don't even want more for yourself. You just see you as another black boy. You've already let them steal your joy, and I cannot want good for you more than you do, so nigga, back up. I will never get the chance to free your mind from society or teach you to think unbiasedly, because you more apparently don't got a lot of time, baby. So if I'm gonna give you the number, I better make it hasty. There was no evaluation of my energy before you were offering me Hennessy and to buy everything that I want like I need that shit. So let's get one thing straight. I can buy my own shit. I can take my own trips. I pat my own back because I chase my own bag. I am the calm and the storm. I am a motherfucking riot. I am soft and warm, but baby, I am a fire. I am more in a woman than you'd ever even know to desire. No shade intended when I say that you will never find another like me. But I guess that's why you want to wife me, huh? So I'll just say, look both ways before you cross me, because I will fuck your whole life up. Thank you.
You got some big fans out there. Thank you. All right, let's see some awesome scores. We have an 8.9, a 9.0, a 9.0, a 9.5, and a 9.6. All right, and finally, not surprisingly, we have Jordan.
I am not this tall.
One, it's not like I wanted this to happen. It happened one day and stayed. Two, it's not like I want to disappear. I just want to get away, evaporated into the clouds, gone from this earth that feels like purgatory, the waiting room for everyone to sit in, to wait, for that special date when we can leave. Three, it's a plague, a disease, a curse the Witch of Life casts upon you to fuck you up. She doesn't have to deal with it anymore. She watches you suffering, on the track, in class, in the past. It will always last. 4, you will get better. You are strong. You are okay. 5, don't tell me that bull until you're running away from the inky blackness that is your mind. 6, you wouldn't tell your dying grandparent, you're going to be okay. You're getting better. Would you? 7, mask off, mask on. Hello, I'm having a great day. The sun is shining. I'm ready to play. Today is the day I can finally say what my feelings are to you. Mask off. Never mind. It's not important. Mask on. It's fine. Have fun. 8, lonely ladders leading to darkness, little light flickers. Foot to track, running, earbuds in harmony, foot beat, beat, beat. 9, pencil to paper, crystal clear strokes, pen to paper, worlds of wonder, full to wonder, where the only limit of is your imagination flowing down the waterfall of creativity. A page a day keeps the bad thoughts away. 10, it's not like I wanted this to happen. It happened one day and stayed. But I'm trying to find a way to get to those leading ladders where the light is flickering, earbuds in harmony, foot beat, rest, breathe. Thank you. Is it a platypus? Yes. There's a stuffed platypus.
No, his name is Hercules. His name's Ben Platt.
There's some conflict over what the platypus's name is, but there is a platypus here, so try saying platypus a lot of times. It's actually really hard. All right, let's look at these scores. We have a 6.1, a 6.1, a 6.3, a 7.4, and an 8.1. Give it up one more time.
Okay, we're about to announce the winners, but as Fiona said at the beginning, today is Beverly Cleary Grant High School class of 1934's 102nd birthday, but it's also Fiona's birthday, and she spent it in the service of poetry. So a real quick, ready, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. We couldn't light the candle. Happy birthday to you because there's a fire code. Happy birthday, dear Fiona. Hope you choose a college soon. Happy birthday to you. All right, I thought that was going to be enough stalling time. Oh, maybe it was. Tell a joke.
I can plug more shows.
She can.
I can still do it.
But I think I have the list. Here we go.
Recycle paper.
All right, so as you know, we have our winner, we have a runner-up, and we have an alternate who go on to Verslandia. But we want to give a shout out to our other two round 2 poets. And so I'm going to have Jamie and Jordan come up and we will give them applause. So the alternate who will be going to Verslandia is Jade Lehman. Okay, and our runner-up is Danny Fisher. And our winner of the 8th annual Grant High School Poetry Slam is Nicole Davis. I think we have some really stellar poets representing Grant High School this year. to get your prizes, you need to go to the back and see Mrs. Sochawa to fill out more paperwork. So, thank you everybody for coming out. I realize it can be a slog to get over to this campus, but I really appreciate such a supportive crowd for our high school poets. Thank you so much. See you next year.